Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to show you how to graph a parabola. So what you guys want to do is basically come up with 5 points. One of the, or hopefully 2 of the 5 points should be x-intercepts. Sometimes parabolas don't have x-intercepts and that's okay, but I chose one that does. The way that we find the x-intercept is by making the y equal to 0. Once we do that, we're going to have to factor. Before you begin, take out a negative. You always want to factor with the x squared being positive. By taking out a negative, all your signs are going to change. So the 10x that has the 10 that has a negative becomes a positive, and the 24 that has a negative becomes a positive. Once you do that, you factor what's in the parentheses. You say what gives you an x squared, x and an x. What gives you 24? What multiplies to 24 that adds to a 10? So we're going to say 6 and 4. You're going to take each piece without this negative. The negative is irrelevant. Think about it as dividing by -1 on both sides. 0 divided by -1 is going to be 0, so we don't need that. And you're going to set this equal and solve. So one of the x-intercepts is -6. And the other x-intercept is -4. Great. What does that mean? Well, when you go to create a chart, we know that these two are roots, which means the y values are 0. So you need 3 more points. So what I recommend you do is pick the points that are in between the roots. So in this case, -5. And then pick basically point above it and below it and so on. So I'm just going to erase this. So I'm going to do, let's say, I'm going to take this. I'm going to pick -7, maybe -8. I'm going to pick -3, maybe -2, and so on. Okay? So if you pick -3, let's say, how do we find the y? You just plug in -3. You get negative, that's a 9 because that's a positive 9, plus 30 minus 24. So that gives you -3. So at -3, you get -3. What happens at -5? Well, at -5, you just have to substitute -5 here, okay? So you put a -5 here, -5 here. That becomes a 25. The negative out here makes this negative. That's a 50. That's a 24 with the negative. So what basically happens is that you get the number 1. So this is 1. And actually, that's your vertex. And the great thing about this, guys, is that once you see this match, then this has to match. So you don't really need to plug in -7. You just have to know that's that. Now you have your 5 points, everyone. You go to -6, 0. You go to -5, 1. You go to -4, 0. You go to -3, -3. And you go to -7, and that's 3, and it should open upside down. So once again, what you have to do is first find the x-intercepts and then fill in all the numbers in between. So I found the x-intercept by factoring. I got this number and this number, and then you just pick anything above it, anything in between it. You just need 5 points, okay? So I hope this was helpful.